Hey everyone, we're live now. Hopefully. Hopefully everything should be alright on my end. Uh, been on live streams, haven't hosted my own, so hopefully it should be working now. No, Kel, I'm not talking about The Simpsons. Go to work. Why aren't you at work, Kel? We'll just wait for anyone to show up before we start. Before I start, there's no one else here. Lunch, Kelly, it's 10:30. It's a bit early for lunch. I mean, don't you have more like people to get angry about at work, Kel? Not when you start. It's lunch is lunch, mate. Like middle of the day, not 10:30. It's like breakfast. It's like brunch right now, Kel. Oh, let's see. Okay, so yep, to healing, yep, sound loud and clear. Hopefully there shouldn't be any noise in the background because some reason the neighbors have decided to cut trees down right now. So it's been very loud outside. Let's see. Hey, Erica. What is this, one of Marvel's food shows? No, I'm not going to be. I'm not going to say I'm going to cook like a sandwich and then say it's based off of a Marvel character. I did see the one that everyone else was talking about, and it's like let's make it's like a Juggernaut burrito or something, and it looked nothing like the Juggernaut. It just looked like a regular, just oversized burrito or something. It's like there's nothing about the Juggernaut with this burrito, whatever food they made. It's just like, oh shit, it's like we're Marvel, we somehow have to tie it into our products. We'll start a bit shortly, see if anyone else pops up. No, Cal, this isn't a wrestling podcast. And yeah, that is true. That's true, Erica. Marvel Comics look nothing like Marvel Comics today either. We might as well get started. We'll just wait. Just like the stragglers come on later. So, welcome to my first live stream. I decided to go solo to see how everything works out. I might try and get some guests whenever I do some other live streams. Don't worry, Eric. I'm not going to. This isn't a comics division. I'm not going to stop making videos and just live stream nonstop. But basically, what I'm going to talk about is just. I originally wanted to do this as a video, and you know when you have an idea in your head, and you're thinking, "Wow, this sounds good. I could definitely do this." And then when you want to do it, it's like, I don't have the time or the resources to make this video. So I thought a live stream would be much, much better for this topic. And we're going to be talking about Marvel's fresh start. If you didn't tell by the connotations in my voice, there's the apostrophes at the start of those, the start and end of fresh start, and Marvel's New Age of Heroes. The very good, but unfortunately not promoted a much. Promoted a much. English isn't working today for some reason. Product for DC. So we'll start with the lesser of two, which is the obviously the Marvel's fresh start. Marvel's attempt at a relaunch without calling it a relaunch. If I remember correctly, the words were line-wide overhaul, and it's just like Marvel, you've been relaunching for several years now. You're not fooling anyone. When just say relaunch, don't try and disguise it as something else that it obviously isn't. It's, you can't really lie to the consumers anymore, Marvel. But the obviously you would assume with a fresh start it'd be something new that would stop being complete and absolute trash. Obviously not. It turned out it didn't. Well, there has been some diamonds in the pile of manure that is Marvel's fresh start. So from what I've been reading, definitely the what I've definitely been enjoying from Marvel so far with its fresh start has been Venom, 100% Venom. I've been loving Venom. Immortal Hulk, regardless of Blockbot Ewing. And surprisingly, Amazing Spider-Man, which I didn't expect to like because it was written by Nick Thickstack Spencer anyway. But has Marvel's kind of fresh start actually changed anything for Marvel? Is it doing well? Is it doing poorly? It's the problem is it's still Marvel. It's regardless of this so-called fresh start, it hasn't really changed how they do things. It just what's that? Failed relaunch. Yes, exactly. It pretty much it's another failed. Yes, Alexis, it's essentially another failed relaunch. It's they're doing the same mistakes they're constantly doing with their constant relaunches. They think that they think just relaunching and doing everything from scratch is going to fix everything. No, it doesn't, because they don't fix the problems. They keep the problems and they add a shitload of more problems onto it. Such as Mark Waid's Doctor Strange. I don't hear anyone talk about Waid's Doctor Strange anymore. Like, as soon as number one came out, I think that was the peak of like popularity within our like so-called comic skate community environment. Like number one, I think, because everyone was just like, oh, it's Mark Waid. This is going to be complete trash. Why is he on Doctor Strange? Why has he been given another chance? And after that, like, where did it go? Where is Doctor Strange still going on? I'm going to say yes, it is still going on, but no one talks about it because I don't think anyone cares about Waid's Doctor Strange. Um, Avengers, you would think it being the main team and the fact that the movies have been doing so well, Avengers would be great. It's been okay. If you've been seeing my reviews on Avengers, my opinion is it's been okay up until issue number 5. Issue number 5, I 100%, I actually enjoyed issue number 5, but even then, that's kind of a problem. Even though it's just my opinion on it, it's if it takes you 5 issues for someone to actually start enjoying the comic, that's essentially that's the problem. You should be enjoying it from like that get go. You need to pull the reader in. You want them to read more. And up until issue number 5, it just felt like a chore to read Avengers. Venom, on the other hand, Venom, 100%. I've definitely been loving Venom. Always eager to wait and read the next issue from Donny Cates, the art by Ryan Stegman. It's been great. Not that much of a Venom fan. I know that's something with Venom. They constantly want to add more unnecessary history to the symbiotes, particularly to Venom. I can understand why a lot of people just wouldn't bother with Venom anymore. I know Englentine is pretty much done with Venom because he's sick of just the constant, just like adding unnecessary history. And I can understand, but I didn't really go into Venom as a fan. I'm not a huge Venom fan. I think the last Venom run I actually enjoyed was the Flash Thompson, the Agent Venom. I really enjoyed that one. It was something interesting, it was something good, it was something different, and I liked it until they got into Venom Space Knight with the terrible redesign of his costume. It was it was just very it's just a very bland looking costume when you had the Agent Venom one that looked so cool. Hey, what's up, Smaxer? How you doing? And what else is there? Black Panther. I don't hear anything from Black Panther anymore. I heard from the first issue it was just Ta-Nehisi Coates just saying, okay, this is slavery, but in space this time. It's like, can you do something else with Black Panther? Seriously. And Deadpool, don't really hear a lot from Deadpool. Uh, I think the problem with Deadpool, it's going to try and survive on the popularity of the films, but the previous oversaturation really killed it. What was that, Eric? I think it has more to do with being older. Those of us who predate Venom were never really huge fans of Venom Carnage. Oh yeah, that's all right. Yeah, yeah, I wouldn't really say I'm a huge fan of Venom as a whole, but I did like Agent Venom, and I do like the current Donny Cates Venom as well. But mainly for a story. Like, if you can hook me in with a good story, I'll read it. 100%. That's what I want from comics. I want a story that I can enjoy and I love to read every day. Really, Smacks? I'm not going to say that. According to Ta-Nehisi Coates, with like whatever I hear from it, any of his like numerous Black Panther comics, that just seems to be the case, that everything has to be an allegory to slavery because you can't you always got to keep reminding people of something that happened years and years and years ago. Yes, I agree to heal him. Coates needs to abandon his slavery fetishism. But that's the thing, while he seems to just be continuing that stuff in Black Panther, uh Captain America, I know a lot of people are actually surprised that they actually liked it, because that was the thing from with Marvel's fresh start, from all the details that was coming out. As soon as it was announced, like all these creators were going to be on these certain titles, uh, everyone was worried about the creators on these titles. So you had Ta-Nehisi Coates still on Black Panther and going to be on Captain America. You had Slott on Tony Stark. You had Wade on Doctor Strange. You had Spencer on Spider-Man. But Black Panther, everyone just knew as soon as they read it, it's just like, this is just the same. Coates is not going to change with Black Panther. But with Captain America, I know some people actually liked it. Yes, it was still very clear it was going to be another political comic. The politics was still there in Captain America. Ta-Nehisi Coates' politics was still very apparent in Captain America, but a lot of people actually liked it, and it wasn't. From what I hear, it wasn't like jamming down everyone's throats. But what else we got? We got Thor. Thor definitely needed a proper fresh start. It still has Jason Aaron on it, and actually, I'll be right back. I'm needed somewhere. I wish I had a guest to fill the time, but continue among yourselves. Okay, I'm back. Just preemptively had to disappear for a while. Hey Maranya, thank you for supporting your favorite cynical Aussie, of course. Yes, yes, Max. So my planet must need me. Earth needs me for some reason. So yeah, continuing. Yeah, Jason Aaron on Thor. Like, why they decided to keep him on Thor after 6 years still, it still baffles me. Like, I read the first issue. I didn't really care for the first issue. It slightly improves upon each issue, but if you wanted a proper fresh start, don't have Jason Aaron on it, considering he has spent almost 6 years on Thor. That's counting Thor and Jane Foster Thor. Yes, Max. So why keep Jason Aaron on anything? He's been doing okay so far with Avengers. It's just him still being on Thor. Give Thor to a different writer, because Jason Aaron has done enough. He has done as much as he can on Thor. He does not need to continue. And I know a lot of people have been, I know some people have been saying that this is supposed to be, this is his third arc in a Thor trilogy. Like, yeah, he had his first part with Thor becoming unworthy, the second with Jane Foster taking over, and then this one, Thor trying to reclaim his name. But I have no idea. Smacks, is Walt Simonson still around? Probably. Get him back in there. I read I read the first trade of the Simonson Mighty Thor, I believe it was. Definitely enjoyed that. I would, if Walter Simonson came back to Thor, I'd definitely pick it up. But with Thor, the Thor currently right now is just. So wait, all this time Thor is nameless. Yeah, that was the weird. Though he wasn't really nameless. He just called himself Odin's son, despite the fact that Thor is his actual name. For some reason, when Jane Foster became Thor, they treated it as a title when it's like, no, that's his. Thor is his actual name. She stole his name. Why isn't anyone making a big deal about the fact that she just straight up stole his name? And Thor just kind of was just like, okay, I'm going to call myself Odin's son. It's like, your actual name is Thor, and you're just letting someone else take it. Your name is not connected to Mjolnir. Mjolnir doesn't name you Thor. Yes, Max. So he was the artist formerly known as Thor. Yes, he went through his Prince phase during his unworthiness. He was Thor. Now he's the artist formerly known as Thor. Yes, identity theft is a crime, except in Marvel. But apparently, anything that's frowned upon, like in just society, normally in Marvel is acceptable. Like, like Riri Williams just stealing technology from like a a university, and then they just pat her on the back and just like, oh, you're a genius. Why don't you come here and enroll in our university, please? You're such a genius. Oh my God, Riri, we love you all. Like she has to go to jail. Like she stole from them, and then the university in the end was just like cool with it anyway. By the end of Bendis's uh, Iron Man run, but yeah, Thor definitely needs a proper fresh start. As soon as Jason Aaron is done with this first arc, give it to someone else. Walter Simonson, give it to Walter Simonson. Why not? Mortal Hulk, I've definitely been enjoying. I like this the horror take on the Hulk. Uh, it doesn't help that Al Ewing blocks people. I know he has me blocked, but I'm willing to separate the artist from the art. And it is like I said, if you have a good story, I'll read it. If it's a good story, I'll read it. And but so far I've been enjoying this third issue of Mortal Hulk. It had a weird issue. It's seemingly yes, Max. So he's the Spectre. Essentially, the Hulk is DC Spectre. Like essentially, they're trying to treat it as like so. Essentially, they try to treat it as a every issue is its own story, but it's still technically an overarching story. So they just third issue of Immortal Hulk had this random moment where it's just like we're gonna three different people talking about the Hulk, and it's just those weird different art styles. And it's I know it's supposed to be their interpretations, but it just felt like a kind of a random issue. It's just like okay, we need a kind of filler that still connects to the plot right in the middle of this story arc, and it's like okay, it wasn't necessarily a bad issue. It just felt off. It's off, but Immortal Hulk for the most part has been yeah, well, yeah, he's being hunted by that reporter. Uh, the real reason he let her have the name, legal reasons. Jane Foster is Thor. She has to pay for the damages. She is Thor. Okay, I guess, but it's still his name is Thor Odin's son. It's just okay. You are now Thor Foster. Sure. You here, Jane. You can have my name, and I'll take your name. I'm now Jane Odinson. You are now Thor Foster. It's a weird kind of instead of like taking the surname like in marriage, they just swap their first names with each other. But and so Mortal Hulk, I like regardless of Al Ewing going on a Blockfest. Venom, I've definitely been enjoying. Avengers has been okay, but I enjoyed the recent issue. I don't read Black Panther. I don't read Doctor Strange. I don't read Deadpool. I'm done with Deadpool. Sentry. I know a lot of people have liked Sentry so far, but I can't really afford to pick that one up. Amazing Spider-Man is I actually did enjoy, regardless of the fact that it was Nick Spencer. I think, but I'm going to be cautious because yes, Max. Thor Foster sounds like a mix of Nordic and Australian beer. Yes, I think that's Thor Foster would be what Fosters would be called if the Vikings uh if the Vikings invaded and conquered Australia like before the English first fleet arrived. But with Amazing Spider-Man, I'm going to be cautious because everyone was hyping the hell out of the fact that it seems like Peter and MJ are getting back together, and everyone was just hyping. Oh my god, one more day is going to be retcon. And it's just like you know that they're tricking you. They're tricking you to pull in more of you to read Amazing Spider-Man. While there is a potential for it to actually come back, they it's just an easy trick to get you to read this comic. Will Spencer actually do it? I don't know. Marvel doesn't really like it when couples stay together. They haven't really had a good track record. I mean, look at their wedding. Like, the two people who were promoted to get married didn't get married for the stupidest reason, and somebody else got married instead. Yeah, agree, Smack. So same here. Unless Spencer Wright outright undoes one more day in the next issue, I'm putting ASM under my 5 issue rule. Yes, with Spencer, I'm doing something similar. Yes, you have your first story, impress me. If I feel like you can't do that, goodbye. I'm not going to pick up any more of your comics. I'm going to save money. I'll go buy something else. But I feel like if they're going to do something to undo one more day, it has to have Mephisto involved. And it doesn't seem like Mephisto is going to be involved in this first story arc. So as soon as like a solicit comes out and it mentions Mephisto, I think that's when people should start being intrigued. Although, like I said, with Marvel and relationships, they could just pull the rug from right under you and decide, oh no, one more day is still going to stay. Nothing's going to be undone. And we'll go into Maranya's favorite topic, Tony Stark Iron Man. Oh boy, I didn't pick it up, but I know a lot of people didn't like it. So you had Dan Slott trying to turn Spider-Man into Tony Stark at the start of All New, All Different. And now you have him actually with Tony Stark. And it doesn't look good. I'm two issues in with my 6 issue cautionary review of Iron Man. It's like going to the dentist, the one that got Dustin Hoffman in Marathon. Yeah, it's why they decided to give him Tony Stark, I have no clue. That and Fantastic Four. Jesus, like, I mean, it's a fresh start technically, but it's not the fresh start that people wanted. Like, that's pretty much Marvel. You can sum up Marvel with two things: quantity over quality, and can't do anything right. Smacks her. I mean, Peter's a company owner, can be done. See Ted calls Bluebeard. I guess, but like how Slot ended that was dumb. Like, wasn't it that he purposely made himself bankrupt to stop? I think it was to stop Otto Octavius or someone like that, and then he's just ridiculed. Uh, it is a fresh start, cat litter, used fresh start. Essentially, it is. It's just what Marvel have been doing for the past few years, recycled with different names. Essentially, it is. Like, there is, like, I remember when CB Sobolski was first brought in, and just everyone put him up to be, he is the White Knight, he is the thick boy in charge, he will save Marvel. Look at him now. He hasn't. Everyone put so much faith in essentially a stranger. No one knew who CB Sobolski was until this happened. And now, and essentially pretty much a lot of people put a lot of faith into CB to fix Marvel. It seemed like it was going to happen. He canceled a lot of series, but then what's been happening recently? No. And the problem is CB is a people pleaser. And it seems like Sana Amanat is the true editor in chief in charge here, not CB. What she says go. Like we mentioned earlier, food shows. Like, why does Marvel need a food show? Like, who, what audience are you branching out to with a food show? No one knows who CB Sobolski is until he put on the mask. Essentially, yes. Is that mask Akira Yoshida? Yeah, but with this fresh start, it's not a fresh start, and the fact gone they've pretty much outright lied with their intentions with Legacy, with the whole we're not going to relaunch again, and the big oh we're not going to do events for 18 months. Yes, Marvel. Remember how you said we weren't going to do events for 18 months? Infinity Countdown, Hunt for Wolverine, Spider-Geddon, Death of the Inhumans, Extermination, Infinity Wars, would like a word with you. I guess the food show is to show what you can do with bad issues of Marvel books. Yes. See, if you ground up this issue of America and put it into a burger, the burger still tastes like shit. And so is America. God, I hope to God they don't bring America Chavez back. Like as soon as everyone saw Unstoppable Wasp and Iceman get relaunched with the same writers, because you would think with a relaunch, you would decide, okay, it didn't work the first time. Let's get a different writer. Like, no, let's keep the same writer that is pretty much calls them to be cancelled because they can't write a story, and have them do another try. Oh yeah, yep. They reused title of old events, but yes, Infinity Wars, and that's an obvious cash grab on the Infinity War movie. Uh, Too little, too late, and the fact that you had an event to lead into another event doesn't help. I don't think anyone really cares about Infinity War. Secret Wars, Infinity Wars. What's next? Infinity Crusades. No, you're forgetting House of M's. You next year we're gonna see House of M's, Fear Itself's, Original Sins. Gabby Rivera is a national treasure. She is to us. Like I know, I know England would always say that he he got a massive boost in like views because of like the America issues. And I like if I wanted to, I would have like just roasted the America issues. They were terrible. Like, who, honestly, I want to be there. I want to be at that meeting to the person who decided to let this happen and just look at them and ask, why? Why did you let this piece of shit happen? Why would you let America Chavez, her series, to let Gabby Rivera do all of this terrible stuff and allow it to continue for more than 5 issues? It's like, and even Gabby Rivera couldn't even keep it consistent. Like the whole first story arc was her pretty much having to learn, don't focus on your rage. You can get true power from a calmer mind. And then after that, she's just angry as usual. Yeah, pretty much, Eric Breen. Yep. You mean yeah? Just replace the S's with monies. Essentially, that's what it is. Uh, I mean, that's Marvel. Marvel has obviously tried to cash in on the films. That's not that big of a surprise. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Unstoppable Wasp, Infinity Wars. Hey, what's up? What's up? I know that's Winter Exile. You still haven't changed your name, have you? What did we miss? What did I miss? Just shitting on Marvel's fresh start. Contest of Champions, yes. The money sign. Yep. Did everyone see that the champions are going to Weird World and they're all like, they look like LARPers now, like medieval LARPers. It's just like choose your class. So you have Amadeus Cho, the fighter. You have Riri Williams, the specialist. You have Miss Marvel, the mage, maybe. Uh, Snowguard, the Beastmaster, and Miles Morales, the assassin. Unstoppable Wasp, her book seems stoppable to me. It was, and then it came back. So ironically, it is unstoppable. As much as we want it not to be, because it's back. Let's see. Crease Novel. I got a good one. Let's see. But I don't know like why they decided Unstoppable Wasp. I can see why they relaunched it again. They're bringing it back, and that's obviously because of Ant-Man and the Wasp. But Iceman, Iceman is the the weird one. See no reason why they decided to bring that back. Is it because Cena Grace is such a comic superstar? I very much doubt it. But I mean, they're doing a lot of stuff with X. They're doing, I say a lot of stuff. Yes, the book came back only to cash in on the Ant-Man and Wasp movie. For people who don't know, that Unstoppable Wasp isn't the character in the movie. Yeah, that's weird. It's just like, let's have an Unstoppable Wasp series, and it's not the actual character from the films. It's not. It's not Jeanette. It's not Hope. Although I know Hope is actually supposed to be from a different Marvel uh universe. It's like someone correct me on this. I want to say MC2 because I know unless she actually is supposed to be in Earth 616. Unless the book is about Iceman from Top Gun, I ain't buying it. Smacks up. I would buy that if it was Iceman. And it's just like if what if Iceman actually lived? Yeah, pretty much. Okay, yeah. You still got a month to change it back. Okay. That sucks. That's weird. It should usually just be like there should be a limit to like how many times you can change your name, and then if you exceed the limit, then you have to have like a waiting period because it's just like he's like you've changed your name in like 3 days. Like, please calm down. Wait a month. So I don't know with Marvel, and then now they're doing more stuff with the yep oh, okay, yeah, thanks Max. Yep, Hope is from, yeah, MC2. Okay, I was correct. I was correct with that. Yep. So I'm guessing she's not in 616. There's no 616 version of Hope. So yeah, like I was saying, now they're probably gonna start relaunching X-Men again as thank you God that X-Men Blue and Gold are cancelled. Should have taken X-Men Red with them. I don't know why. They should have. No one wants X-Men Red. No one likes X-Men Red. It was another pointless color-coded team, and it tastes like mustard and bigotry. But it pretty much without even actually saying it, they've confirmed they've cancelled Blue and Gold because they're bringing back Uncanny X-Men. Okay, yeah, there is no hope in there is no hope in 616. Yes, both the person and the whole concept of hope. And I'm guessing with Uncanny X-Men, it's gonna tie off. It's gonna be coming off from Extermination, which will actually finally deal with the young X-Men being in present day in the future essentially, because like the thing is, like, using time travel in a story is always a mess, especially if you can't do it well. And that's pretty much what they've done with the young X-Men. They've changed so much from how they used to be that time should be changing right now. The present day should be changing, and the fact they're still not back um, should be changing present day. And I'm going to guess Extermination is going to deal with it. Although, to be fair, X-Men Blue was going to deal with it, and they decided, oh, yes, they're from an alternate timeline. But then at the end of that story arc, it's like, oh no, that's a lie. They actually are from the past, and that whole alternate timeline thing was just a subliminal message to get them back into the past to resolve this thing. It's like, God, can you keep it consistent? And you got wait, Extermination, didn't they do that title before? They did something similar. I think it's Extermination. It's what it's called. I'm probably picking it up, so I'll see if that's what it's actually called. Because I know the one who did Cable during the first Legacy run, Ed Bryson is doing it. Yes, it's called Extermination. It's, I think, like 5 or 6 issues. It's a mini series, even though it's technically an event. It's another event. But essentially, like, if they wanted to relaunch uh X-Men, they should have just cancelled all of them. Cancel all the X-Men titles. Have the one team. That's what I said in my X-Men Black video. Yes, and there's also an X, and that the thing with yes, yeah, blue and gold is getting cancelled. It's not red that's getting cancelled. Unfortunately, red should 100% be cancelled. It is absolute trash. X-Men Red is the comic that made me break my one story policy. As I've said numerous times, you have your first story to impress me. If you don't succeed, if I feel like you haven't succeeded with that, I'm just going to not buy it anymore. X-Men Red, after the second issue, I'm just like, I'm not picking this up. This is terrible. Nope, nope. Okay. I'm adding a new thing to my policy. If you're as bad as X-Men Red, I'm just going to drop you immediately. The way the X-Men being renewed, do you really want uncanny X-Men? Yeah, that's the problem. The fact is, like, uncanny X-Men back. The thing is, while yes, I wouldn't want uncanny X-Men back, but if they just ended all teams and just had the one, at least that for the meantime solves the quantity problem with Marvel thinking that more is better when it's not. It depends on who's writing Uncanny X-Men. If they decided Claremont is just going to write Uncanny X-Men, I'm like, I'm interested. But if they decide we're going to get Cullen Bunn again, or we're going to get Mark Guggenheim again, it's just like, I'm not going to pick it up. Cullen Bunn needs to stop with the X-Men. Has anyone been noticing that after Bendis has left, Marvel has been trying to use several of their writers, branching them onto several different titles. Like after Bendis left, Marvel was like, "Oh crap, we don't have that one writer that we dump all of our titles on. Who are we going to do it to now? We'll try with Jerry Dugan. We'll try with Cullen Bunn, maybe Jason Aaron." Unfortunately, it looks like they're going to try and do that with Donny Cates. Because look, he's done Thanos, he's done Doctor Strange, he did that Damnation storyline with Doctor Strange, Venom, Cosmic Ghost Rider. And I know he's doing something else with Venom. He's also doing. He's going to be in charge of Marvel Knights again. And it's just like I'm very worried that they want to make, since Donny Cates is the hot new thing at Marvel. He's the he's the writer that essentially everyone loves and wants to read his comics off. Marvel wants to give him everything, and I'm afraid they're going to turn him into Bendis, and it's just you're going to see a huge decline throughout the 20 titles he'll be writing, essentially. But how much of social justice they could cram into one X-Men book if there was only the one? Yeah, that's the problem. It's just like I know that's the whole point of like X-Men. They're supposed to be like an allegory for like prejudice and racism. The problem is the X-Men have been around for years and years and years. Uh, so you can't really do that. It like you're in a world where there's all of this stuff, but there just happens to be one race, like one race of people who you're just like, oh, we have to be scared of them. It's just like, okay, why? Like, you would think they would have moved on from this. Yes, Kate. Yeah, exactly, Miran. Yeah, Kate and Zadarsky are being stretched out, and it's going to show as you point out. I don't know about Zadarsky. He's only on two, from what I remember. He's only on two, so I think he's on two currently. Marvel 2-in-1 and Spectacular Spider-Man. Kate's is the main one I'm worried about because he seems to be getting a shitload of titles, and it worries me. It's really scary thinking that they're gonna try and turn him into the next Bendis 2.0 at Marvel. Yeah, X-Men's been around for years and years, and only Cyclops fucking succeeded in uniting the. Yes, Cyclops was right. They may stretch Zdarsky out though, since he's seen as popular. Yeah, that is a thing. Like, I've said this before. I remember like when I first kind of got into this whole like meeting everyone, like Comicsgate and all that. I remember everyone said Zdarsky's Spectacular Spider-Man is absolutely terrible. He is a terrible writer. Why is he writing this? He's not funny. He's trying to be funny, and it's not working. But as soon as issue number 6 came out, and as soon as that Legacy run came out, everyone flipped a switch, and everyone's like, Zdarsky, we love you. We love what you're doing. Something happened. You changed. Your writing quality has definitely improved. Bravo, like definitely to the point where everyone wanted him to write Fantastic Four and Amazing Spider-Man. And unfortunately, he got duped on both of those. Yes, no more Bendis. House of B. uh, a funny Canadian that doesn't exist. Well, that was the problem with Zdarsky's first run with Spectacular Spider-Man, that he was very intentionally trying to be funny, to the fact that in the editor's notes within the actual comic, it explains what the joke is, and it's like if you have to explain the joke, you're not funny. It was just joke after joke after joke after joke after joke. And I know Spider-Man 2 a point is supposed to be he's supposed to be like kind of funny, like he's supposed to be like sarcastic a lot, but not to that extent. It was just ham-fisted. But then from number 6 onwards, I think someone just went up to him and just said, "You're not funny. Please stop it. Focus on the story." Yes, exactly. Yeah, joke. If you have to explain the joke, there is no joke. Essentially, you're just saying a bunch of words. But yeah, the whole X Men thing. X Men Black. I'm a bit mixed on X-Men Black. I'll probably pick up that the Claremont Magneto one. Um, I don't know about the others. I might consider the other ones, but I'm gonna guess it's gonna lead into another team because it's called X-Men Black. But so far, until solicits say otherwise or future solicits say otherwise, it's it's a one-shot series. It's a one-shot series. There's five of them because October is a 5-week month. X-Men Black sounds like a new perfume cologne. Yes, it does. Sounds like a dark and edgy X-Men team. So until I'm gonna be very wary with it, but it's another color-coded team which we don't need. Like it should just be the X-Men, and then if you need to, you have X-Force on the side or Excalibur for something different. Although to be fair, uh, really, Snaxo, Jesus Christ. Yes, Marvel. Yep. Each issue has a portion of an apocalypse story. Dirty way to force us to buy them. Yeah, pretty much. That's if you care about the apocalypse story. Although it is being written by the team that just finished Cable, which I did enjoy. I did like that Cable run by Zach Thompson and Lonnie Nadler. They're doing the apocalypse story backups, so that furthers more of my interest of buying X Men Black. But it's not something I'm going to fully invest in for the long haul. Uh, but yes, mate, X Men Blue wasn't cancelled. He's off to a planet to live with his alien waifu. Yes, oh, I love that song. But it seems to be the just. Do you think with Death of the Inhumans, it's just going to be they're going to do hardly anything with the Inhumans because like while X-Men's still getting stuff, and it seems like they've canceled two teams so it can be rebranded as Uncanny X-Men again. Do you think they're gonna do anything with the Inhumans? I hope not. Inhumans needs to take it. Inhumans definitely needed to take a step back. Like I remember this all of like all new, all different, like leading up into Legacy. It's just like Inhumans are the next big thing, and everyone's like, no, they're not. We don't care about the Inhumans. They're not interesting. Considering the fact that you show in Death of X, they knew that the mutants were dying, and they did nothing about it. Yep, Death of the Human Cyclops coming back from the grave and kick every Inhuman's ass. I mean, I said that in my review. 100% Vox is going to be. I'm going to say that he's not actually a Kree super inhuman weapon. He's actually just they've resurrected Cyclops to get his revenge. Because he does shoot a laser, but it's out from his mouth, not from his eyes. Because I feel like if it shot out of his eyes, it would have been so very obvious who Vox actually is. So they just have it with his mouth because he's supposed to mirror. He's obviously supposed to mirror Black Bolt. So, but in also in the upcoming X-Men event Extermination, they're also teasing Cyclops as well, as young Cyclops seems to be holding the original Cyclops's visor. Uh, let's see. You should be excited. The Batman Who Laughs is getting a miniseries in September, and he takes on a sidekick who is basically. Yes, I saw that. I will. That's definitely interesting. The Batman Who Laughs was definitely the most interesting of the Dark Knights, mainly because he was the one that got the most attention. Because he's a Batman Joker, of course he's going to get the most attention. So that one I'm definitely going to consider picking that one up. Considering I'm going to probably be dropping a few DC titles, I might consider dropping Batman after this Mr. Freeze arc. It's just like, eh. I'm more. I've been enjoying Detective Comics much better recently, so I might just stick with Detective Comics. Uh, I'm probably not going to stick with Aquaman with Kelly Sue DeConnick. Like, why they decided to get rid of Dan Abnett after he's been doing such an amazing job with Aquaman, they decide, yep, let's replace him with the woman who constantly likes to yell and say, if you don't like my politics, don't pick up my books. And essentially, her only rise to fame is the fact she's married to Matt Fraction, who is a far better writer and did the last good Hawkeye run. Unless Bendis is off Superman, I ain't reading Superman. Yeah, I don't blame you. Don't. I'm taking the bullet for everyone that doesn't want to read Superman. I'm reading both of them. Uh, and I think I should be worried with Action Comics because the solicits for October is it doesn't look good for Superman and Lois. They're going to redefine the Superman and Lois relationship, and he's gonna ask her if she still loves him. So I'm a bit worried about their relationship, guys, within Action Comics. It's like Bendis, I want to give you the benefit of the doubt, but you're not making it good. You've been producing so far an okay title with a lot of problems. Man of Steel did not need to be 6 issues, and it had a lot of problems during in the last half. There was a lot of problems with Man of Steel. Like first 3 issues were probably the best he did. Yes, Max. So yeah, I would be angry about that. It's just like it seems like he's going to do something to the Superman Lois relationship. And apparently, John is still missing because in that solicit, he says, Superman asks, "Where's John?" And it's like, oh, God's sakes. Super's going to get with that hot black woman at Riri 2.0. I'm guess so. Bendis didn't create Lois, so it's out with her. In with the redhead fire chief. Maybe, but I feel like Miranya's got the good one. Yeah. Although the redhead fire chief, like she was, I actually did like her. She was actually a fun, interesting like addition. Like I feel like that Bendis wants her to be like um the Commissioner Gordon for Superman. It very much felt like it was going to be. Smack, so seriously bring Tomasi and Jurgens. Yeah, pretty much like you had Tomasi and Jurgens had amazing runs on Superman and Action Comics, and then you decide, let's get Bendis. Though they I feel like that's how they, as a way to get Bendis to sign with DC, is just like we have to give him something that warrants him wanting to leave Marvel after so many years. So it's just like, we'll give you Superman. The Fire Chief is real life. Yeah, I even yeah in my reviews of Man of Steel, I said that like I'm get she's either going to be like a Commissioner Gordon type, or she's going to turn out to be the real arsonist. Redefine the relationship like a New 52. Oh God, no! Please, no! I don't want another New 52 Superman Lois relationship where it didn't exist. But speaking of DC, we're going to the last half of this live stream talking about DC's new age of heroes. The DC's attempts at Marvel properties, essentially, which has worked well, but it doesn't seem to be getting a lot of attention, and it doesn't seem to be going well sales wise, and unfortunately, it seems like it's gotten its first victim, which is the Immortal Man. James Tinning the Fourth's The Immortal Man was not solicited for October, so hasn't been any word on it. I think I tweeted at Tinian asking like what's going on. Haven't got anything from that, and it seems like Immortal Man could be ending. It's either the ending or taking a break because in October, Tinian is doing a 5 issue story crossover between Wonder Woman and Justice League Dark. So it could be that he could be that he wanted to put his time into that over the Immortal Men and is just taking a break. And I don't know. I hope it's not because Immortal Man was something like it had an okay rocky start, but it definitely improves upon each issue. The recent issue was the best so far they've had with Immortal Man, and to see it go is sad. It is sad. The thing is, like, New Age of Heroes has so much potential. It's just DC doesn't do a lot to promote it. Leading up to it, they did, but currently now it's and I can see why it's hard to compete. You're the new kids on the block, and you're trying to go up against Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Green Lantern. Of course, you're not. It's not going to work properly, but with New Age of Heroes, it had huge potential, and for the most part, I've liked the majority of it. So, Damage was the one was Damage when I saw it. I thought this is the one I'm going to like the least. Damage is probably one of my. It's in my top 3 of favorites or top 5 of favorites. I have a lot of favorites with the New Age of Heroes. Damage has been definitely been great. I like the story. I like the character. I like his interactions. Silencer. I'm not a huge like ground level assassin mercenary fan. Like while I do like Christopher Priest's Deathstroke, it's not really a series I'd like to. It doesn't really feel like I need to pick up each issue of Deathstroke. I was not really the huge fan of like assassin type characters. Um, but Silence has been great, and Sideways has definitely been enjoyable. That's another in my top 5. Terrifics has been amazing. There was actually a rumor going around, although it was on 4chan, so take it with a grain of salt, that the most of the New Age of Heroes is going to get cancelled. Some will continue for 12 issues, but Terrifics would just still go on as an ongoing. And I'd honestly believe that if that was true. Uh, Ready talked about Immortal Man. New challenges I like. I definitely like new challenges because I've read the original the Kirby challenges of the unknown. So I was excited to read new challenges. I like what Snyder's doing with that, and that's a mini series. So that's the only one that's officially ending. But Curse of Brimstone and Unexpected. Curse of Brimstone had a interesting idea. Uh, yeah, Curse of Brimstone had an interesting idea, but I agree with Tillian. Like, I lost hope for it after issue number 2. Issue number, I think it was 4. It kind of piqued my interest again, but I'm most likely gonna stop picking up Curse of Brimstone after issue number 6. Unexpected was uh I did not like how Unexpected started. It's been Unexpected has been really slow. That's definitely going to be something I'm going to be dropping after its first story as well. Uh Real cat. I'm curious, dude. Pitch a new superhero you'd make for DC or Marvel. You must have had ideas. For DC or Marvel, I haven't really had ideas. I did have an idea of like, what was it? It wasn't for DC or Marvel. It'd be something like if I ever got around to it, I'd probably want to try and publish it and share it. It's kind of like Teen Titans and like after reading like I really like Jeff Lemire's Black Hammer series. How it's essentially like if Jeff Lemire was given his own DC and Marvel amalgam universe. Because if you've read Black Hammer, it's very clear that these characters are influenced or based off like well-known DC or Marvel characters. So I wanted to do my similar one with like but more Teen Titans esque, just them being a new age of kind of connecting with new age of heroes. They're going to be a new age of like superheroes, uh, living in a world where every superhero and supervillain was killed in a kind of like a crisis like event. So they're the new guard, the new generation that are appearing, and from the get go, I would have them not start off with like official costumes. It's obviously this is their first attempt to be superheroes, so they're obviously gonna wear like makeshift like costumes from just random stuff. Smacks. I've read Black Hammer. It's intriguing, but damn it if it's slow. Yeah, I'd agree to that, and it's I think uh I think from the get go it's because like one of the artists was sick, so there was some delays, and it's continuing on in a different series. Age of Doom, I think it's called. But I don't know where they're gonna go with with Black Hammer later on. But New Age of Heroes, I have no idea. It's a line that had potential. It's just DC doesn't promote it as much as it should. I know, like very randomly, they'll have like, "Oh, hey, read this issue of this New Age of Heroes title," and that's it. Like all it was promoted heavily while Dark Knight's Metal was going on, but then after that, it's just like it kind of fade. It unfortunately faded almost into obscurity. I think we're the only ones that really talk about it. Just our kind of group talks about it. Because the thing is, they're good. They're great. There's a lot of great titles in the new age of heroes. It's just they don't get a lot of love and attention because they have to go up against the big guns, the ones that have been there for years, the ones that people already love and know of. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, all those. They have to go up against those, and it's obviously it's going to be a struggle. And it's just DC experimented with something and decided not to continue with it. But there is a possibility that that's changing because apparently with the new season of Arrow, Silencer is going to have Silencer is going to appear. So straight off the bat, someone from the new age of heroes is going to be have their first ever live action adaptation. I got a question. Who was pushing for New Age of Heroes? Is it Jeff Johns? I feel like it was. Like, I think as soon as Jeff Johns left, like his position, is when a lot of DC's problems started to become more apparent. Since you have Jim Lee in charge, you have Dan Didio in charge. Uh, I would say Jeff Johns. Jeff Johns, Scott Snyder, I guess, since he was doing Dark Knight's Metal, that would lead into it. And I feel like also with Dark Knight's Metal, because it was postponed, like it kind of it did affect New Age of Heroes. Several titles got I know a few titles got pushed back. The main one being terrific since Plastic Man appears in that series and in Dark Knight's Metal as well. So of course they didn't want to really spoil anything yet. So they obviously had to push it back. Let's see. What's sad with the big two is that they're pushing books that aren't that good and not promoting the good books that they're making. Yep. Yeah, pretty much. Essentially, it's just like, yeah, with Marvel, it's just like, here, read Iceman and Unstoppable Wasp. You'll all love it. Ignore the fact that they're terribly written and they're not good. You know, let's not promote good comics. Like, here, read this, read Cable, read Cable. That's good. Do have to duck? Yeah, good first. Yeah, thanks. No problem, Eric Breen. Yeah, awesome. Thanks for coming. Like I said, I'm not gonna pull a comics division and just do live streams now instead of videos. It'll be a mix. I'll try to have more people on next time. Talk about something else. But take care, Eric. So here's a fun fact. Apparently, Dan Didio is running. Yes, Dan Didio is writing Sideways. And in that 4chan rumor that I mentioned before, um, one of the rumors was that Silencer and Sideways would still be getting issues because Dan Didio likes them. And I can see it for at least Sideways. Why? Because he writes it. Where the hell is Shazam? I mean, he's completely absent even during Dark Knight's Metal. They have a movie for him coming FFS. Well, that's because Jeff Johns is doing the series, and I'm not sure what they're gonna do with it. I'll probably pick it up because it's Jeff Johns. I love Jeff Johns' work. I know a lot of people have been saying they want Shazam, they want Captain Marvel to be just in his own universe again, not have to deal with the current stuff going on in the DC universe. And I would actually appreciate that more if they did that, considering it's going to be not just Shazam, it's going to be the rest of the Marvel family as well. I mean, the issue he's been writing, he's been good. So hey, maybe Dan isn't a complete industrial strength foul up. Writing, yes, but like other decisions, like I think if I remember correctly, he's a main one that says that he doesn't like relationships in the DC universe. So I think when he said that, a lot of people were worried, especially with action Superman and Action Comics with Superman and Lois Lane. It would cause huge delays, but Gary Frank nailed the look. Yeah, yeah. If Gary Frank didn't delay it a lot, he would definitely like. I would want Gary Frank on like that Shazam book coming out. Uh, Dan Didio apparently. I don't know if that was true or not. I know it's brought up, but whether it's true or not, but it's Dan Didio apparently that said he doesn't like relationships in comics. Smaxo, I want to boost a gold back and Noah teasing Action Comics, and what the hell did Tom King do to Booster and Batman? Yeah, as much as I liked, before the whole wedding, as much as I like Tom King with a lot of his stuff, like Booster was written so out of character in that Batman story arc. And that's mainly because Booster is going to appear in Heroes in Crisis. So that's why he was written so out of character. And didn't help that in the same time in Action Comics, he was in a storyline preventing Superman from changing the past. Didio wants to roll things back to the New 52. Yeah, no one wants to go back to the New 52. While it did actually have some good titles, the majority was not good. That was the whole point of Rebirth, is that they were sorry for the New 50. They're sorry that New 52 had to happen. So it would make no sense for them to go back on that, considering how much support and love essentially almost everyone gave to Rebirth, because while it didn't completely get rid of the New 52, it was a vast improvement. Because usually, but yeah, I would want Booster Gold back and team him up with Ted Cord again. You need another blue and gold, a proper blue and gold, not X-Men blue and gold, but Booster Gold and Blue Beetle. Relationships in comics are huge for fans. The hell, has anyone seen the fallout on Twitter over Marvel giving Misty Knight stories and relationships with? Okay, so what's that about? Because I've seen you've been retweeting that a lot, and I was confused. Like, why is everyone like? Okay, so because I know briefly, like I know that Misty Knight and Iron Fist had a relationship, but in the Netflix one, that whole storyline is going to go to Colleen. I can understand why people don't like that. The problem is, it's the Netflix series. Misty Knight has had little to no interaction with Iron Fist. But Colleen has had a lot, was essentially his partner, his sidekick, essentially. So of course they're gonna have Colleen be the one in the relationship, not Misty Knight. But I heard apparently Misty's going to still appear in this series, and she's supposed to be like a third wheel. So I can understand why people don't like that. But my thing is, you got to go with the context of like the Netflix series. It's not 100% comic accurate. If it was, Luke Cage would have been in a relationship with Jessica Jones constantly, not with Claire. Hell, I joke that in Batman arc is that Booster shot Booster yelling at that Booster for screwing up the timeline. Oh yes, the hypocrisy of Booster is just nah. It was essentially everything before that wedding, for Tom King's Batman run, was just to lay the groundworks for Heroes in Crisis, pretty much. Uh, that's just his thing. But the thing is, they're treating Harley as a hero. I don't know why. She's not a superhero. She's an anti-hero, anti-villain at the most. Like I could understand why they should act. Even though I know she's supposed to be a psychiatrist or whatever, but even then, like I wouldn't trust Harley with anything. God. Oh God, Heroes in Crisis. I really hope the leak is wrong, and my boy, Booster is innocent. Oh, is there a leak saying that Booster was the one that caused it? That would still be so out of character for Booster Gold. Like, yeah, no. Uh, I know there was other rumors like saying that apparently apparently they wanted Wally West to mainline in that event in Heroes in Crisis, and that he was going to be killed off, but because they already had plans for Wally West, it was instead swapped him with Kyle Rayner. Apparently, Kyle Rayner is the one that's going to die. I hope that's not true. Oh God, I hope that is not true. But the thing is, like that, the 4chan rumors that I mentioned, a lot of them are coming true, because in that rumor list, it mentions Kelly Sue DeConnick taking over Aquaman, Grant Morrison taking over Green Lantern, and those are happening. Grant Morrison will start a new Green Lantern series in November. Don't know. I can't remember what issue Kelly Sue DeConnick's going to start Aquaman, because Dan Abnett is still on for the October solicits. Funniest thing I saw on the tune was, hey Deadpool, look at the camera and make it inappropriate. Oh, Teen Titans Go! Like, I mean, after watching the Titans trailer, I feel like I've been giving too much shit to Teen Titans Go. Uh, so what was everyone's thoughts on those trailers? So the three DC trailers, you had Aquaman, you had Shazam, and you had Titans. Like before I wrap this up, what was your thoughts on the trailers? Because Aquaman and Shazam, I'm interested in because it looks like the DC extended universe wants to they want to bring a actual like fun and color to it, but uh it's still the DC extended universe. I can't really trust them with that, but the trailers look good. Uh, Titans on the other hand was a complete shit show. My husband heard about the Titans trailer and he said Robin would never say that. Yeah, Robin would never say that. Yes, I know that Dick Grayson did have like an angsty kind of like period where he's just like, I don't care about Batman anymore, but not to that extent. Uh, yeah, that would yeah, yes, Max. So that's something Jason would say, not Dick. Dick Grayson would probably never say that. He would make it very clear that he doesn't like in that period, he would make it clear that he doesn't really trust or like Batman anymore, but he wouldn't go to like Jason Todd levels of extreme. Like, like fuck Batman. I'm gonna step on this guy's neck, and probably break this guy's neck as well. Uh, did, 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 uh, I'm thinking of dropping Rebirth entirely after the eighth trade paperbacks for the series I follow comes out. Yeah, I don't blame you. It it's not even Rebirth anymore. It's DC Universe, so I don't blame you. Like, there's still series. I'm gonna continue with series I like when that whole the Batman 50 stuff came out, and a lot of people were just like, I'm done with DC. I'm canceling everything I read, and it's just like that's kind. I understand where you're coming from. It's a bit selfish. It's like why punish others for the mistakes of one? That was my reasoning to it. But I could understand why you're angry. What else we got? Yeah, Aquaman and Shazam look good. I'm annoyed that they race swapped Aquaman and Orm, but I'm excited. Yeah, if it's just the thing, it's yeah. I mean, I like Jason Momoa is a good actor. He's a cool actor, so I'm cool with him. But eh, maybe I don't know. I think they wanted to obviously contradict each other. So of course, like Orm's not going to be anything similar to Aquaman, so I can see why. But yeah, and they made him blonde. Like he's not dark haired. Robin is boring. Yes, Robin is boring, and like Dick Grayson, who's like for a lot of people, like their favorite Robin is the most boring character in that trailer. No one apart from Raven. Raven is the only one that at least seems interesting. Everyone else was boring. Robin was bland and acted too much like Jason Todd. Starfire. Oh God, Starfire. Uh, Beast Beast Boy didn't say anything, and it's very clearly they CGI'd Kim Green. Um, Hawk and Dove. Dove is violent for some reason when she's supposed to be like the pacifist, the calm one of that duo. That's the whole point of Dove, because Hawk is supposed to be the violent, is always wants to settle everything with his fists kind of guy. Apparently, episode 7 of Titans is labeled. Yeah, Jason Todd's appearing in it, so I don't know. Okay, Smack. So, wait, he's blonde, wears dark colors. I hope I'm. Yeah. Well, he is a dictator as well, so that kind of, I don't know, that could have just been. It could have just been like to mirror the fact that in the comics, Aquaman is supposed to be white and blonde. So of course they've just swapped it for um they just swapped it because the DC extended universe's Aquaman is not white or blonde. So they're just like, well, we'll just have that for all. But I don't know. It's I can't it's for most part I've given up on them ever trying to really do anything accurate or close to accurate anymore. You know, like the thing with Colleen, Misty Knight, and Iron Fist. It's just like I get that that's a thing in the comics, but this is the Netflix series, and they Misty Knight and Iron Fist have hardly interacted with one another. So why all of a sudden they would be in a relationship? I don't know. They'd probably develop it, but I don't know. It makes more sense for in the Netflix Marvel universe for Iron Fist to be with Colleen because he spent the most time, and I think they've already developed some kind of relationship already. So maybe they're using opposites for Hawk and Dove, and Hawk will really be a wimp. I hope not. Like, I really hope not, because that essentially was the whole dynamic with Hawk and Dove. Dove was the calm one, Hawk was the violent one, and they worked on each other. Even with the current iterations, which is they're not brothers, they're not related. It's just one's Hawk and the Dove is a girl, not Hawk's brother. But it still worked in the similar dynamic that Hawk was still violent. He always had the bloodlust, the blood rage, and everything. Like I said, DC should stick to the animated movies to an extent, yes, but I don't think a lot of people have cared for their most recent ones. You know, like Killing Joke, where they decided, oh yes, let's have let's have Batgirl and Batman have sex for no reason at all. I love the people that try to defend that scene, saying, "Oh, Batman needed motivation to stop the Joker," and it's just like, do you know Batman? Joker existing is the only reason he needs to stop the Joker. He doesn't need an extra reason. But Marvel and DC should understand that fans want the stories they read translated to discreet, not bastardization. So I get it. Yeah, that is true, but they've been doing this for a while now, so it's really it's I have no idea with it. It's just they're doing their own things. It's sometimes they'll use a storyline or whatever to influence it, but they're never gonna exactly copy paste stories and characters. I know even though fans want it, although I feel like they if you want a story on the big screen, it's just like I don't necessarily want a double of something else. Like if there's already the story, why would I need to watch the film? And I know like with a lot of stories, I would like to see them try and do a live action version of it. But in the end, it's just like I know how this is going to happen. I know what's going to happen. I know this is going to happen. I know how the story ends. So it feels like it will slightly ruin my enjoyment of the film because I already know what's going to happen, like the film or the TV show. So while I don't like that they can't adapt everything properly, I do like when they do some changes, but that's to certain things. As long as it's not like a full-on outright change, I'm kind of okay with it. Marvel movies have been pretty good keeping the core of the story intact for most part of it. Yeah, pretty much. Well, but that's the thing. They can't. They with Marvel, they can't always. Uh, They can't always fully adapt everything. Like when Civil War was announced, it was fairly obvious they're not going to adapt the entirety of Civil War because that's not possible. Because Civil War featured pretty much everyone in the Marvel universe in the comics, while in the movies they hardly introduced some. So far the only character swap I've liked is Bucky becoming White Wolf. I think there's a great story for him in Wakanda. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But the thing is, trying to get like DC or Marvel to listen to fans like recently, it it doesn't work because if they listen to their fans, Bendis would not be on Superman. You know, and if Marvel listened to their fans, we wouldn't be shitting on Marvel. We would if they were listening to the fans, if they were listening to our criticisms, our complaints, and our ideas, we would we would be praising Marvel of how well they're doing stuff. Like we would be talking about, oh look at that Zdarsky Fantastic Four run. That's amazing. Wow, look at that Thor run that isn't by Jason Aaron. Look at that Tony Stark run that isn't by Dan Slott. Yes. If they listened to the fans, America would have been cancelled by issue 1. Yes. The thing is, Marvel needs another Jim Shooter. Like, they honestly need someone there to go in, tell him, nope, I'm not letting you do this. Or stay off of social media. Do your job. Like, regardless of how much of like a tyrant Jim Shooter was, apparently at Marvel, Marvel could really benefit nowadays with another Jim Shooter. Just telling them to keep in line, write good stuff, don't give us crap. Just stay off social media. Just do your jobs and stop berating the fans and pretty much yep, Marvel needs the actual just bring Jim Shooter back. I don't think they will. That's the problem. It's Jim Shooter. They'll never bring him back. That's the thing. Unless like the higher ups and Disney decide. Yeah, clearly CB Cebulski is a failure. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. The apparent White Knight, everyone put him up to be failed because Marvel is still dying. Marvel is beyond dead. It's it's a dead horse kicking several different dead horses. Yes, respect the characters, don't break them. That's what we want. Yes, because if Jim Shooter was still at Marvel, we would the main thing we would not get is Nazi Cap at Hydra Supreme Captain America. As I remember reading that article, he was very pissed off about that happening. He's like, if Kirby and Simon were still alive, they would be rolling in their graves about what's happening with Captain America. I wouldn't mind if the heads of Marvels comes to his house begging on their hands and knees and probably commit seppuku just to bring Shooter back. Yes. But that's the thing, like, because of how controversial Shooter was as his time and editor in chief, there's the huge possibility they won't bring him back. Like you've known me say this several times before. I would absolutely love if John Byrne came back for She-Hulk, but it's probably not going to happen because he's burned a lot of bridges at Marvel. As much as I would want that, as much as I would love that for John Byrne to bring She-Hulk back to glory, do another like sensational She-Hulk run, John Byrne would never go back because he's burned so many bridges at Marvel. I actually think that Marvel would do its first full universe reboot, Crisis on Infinite style, in a few years' time when Disney gets tired of losing money. I think so, but I think they were banking on Secret Wars, the 2015 one, to do that. I mean, I guess like to get rid of every like terrible things they're doing at Marvel to do a full universe reboot. Yeah, I'd be for it, but that's just them like how would I put it? Not really solving any problems. They're just let's not look at them for now. Plus, there is still some good stuff with Marvel, ever so slightly good stuff with Marvel, and I wouldn't want to see that go away. But who knows? That's if Disney decides to listen. I mean, have you seen Disney with Star Wars? As much as I want Peter David on Hulk back, I know that's not going to happen. Yeah, not sure about the deal with Peter David. You might have to catch me up on that. So I know if he did, what was it? I know England team mentioned it. He did X Factor, I think. He did a run on X Factor, I believe. Straczynski on Thor, Fraction on Iron Man, Zdarsky on Fantastic Four, John Bennett on She-Hulk. If I'm going to dream, I'm going to dream big. Hell yeah, that 100%. Yes. Uh, I would even though I even said before, I'd take Simonson on Thor as well. Shockingly, I'm enjoying Coates' run on Black Panther. I think I know what he did. Okay. Well, if you're enjoying it, you're enjoying it. I mean, so a lot of people, most of the people just didn't like it because it's just another. It's like, oh, this is just slavery in space. Okay, sure, Coates, whatever. uh, who's on Spidey? Yeah, that's the question though. Because I want to say Zdarsky, but I would rather keep Zdarsky on Fantastic Four. Zdarsky or who was that was that I think that was Straczynski on that or JM. It was either JMS or JMD that was on the previous run. Before slot J. Well, yeah, JMS because JMS was the one that wrote One More Day. So I'm gonna say JMS was the previous writer on Spider-Man. Although I do remember he says he regrets doing that, so maybe you could give him another chance. Straczynski can handle two books, put him on Spidey too. Yeah. Well, in this case, it's blacks and saving blacks. I'm giving it an honest chance because I think it's legit set 2,000 years in the future and the main character isn't T'Challa. Yeah, because that really made no sense in Legacy. It's just all of a sudden like there's a Wakandan space empire. It's like I don't I don't remember anyone talking about this. This seems random, but you saying that it's in the could possibly be in the future makes much more sense. But or even if the character isn't T'Challa, it could just be someone named after him. That's also Black Panther. I will not hold one more day against Jay. We all know that. Yeah, that was Casada's fault, pretty much. Who will write Doctor Strange? That's the question. Dalton. Just get Dalton to write it. He absolutely hates what's being done with Doctor Strange. So just get Dalton. I don't know. It's Neo Wakanda. It's set in the set in the G Gundam universe. Okay, yes. I don't know who would write Doctor Strange because that's the wait code sensitive that's in the future such as the rebels. The rebels take their names from legends of the past. Literal quote. Oh, okay, so I guess so. I guess I could accept that. Yeah, that it's in the future. I think the problem is it wasn't really it wasn't really promoted as such for like fresh start. It was just gonna be like this is just another. It's another Black Panther series. It didn't really give an indication, but if it is hinting it is, I could accept that. It would make much more sense for there to be like a Wakandan space empire. Like I can accept Wakanda being like technologically advanced and hidden on Earth, but them having created like a huge space empire already. Like okay, no, no, I can't believe that. Uh, but yeah, like Marvel has a limited pool of writers anyway. So with Fresh Start, when it was like first announced, it's just like we got we got new writers on new teams, and it's just like no, you don't. You don't have new writers. You still have the same writers because you have such a limited pool of writers. You're the only people you can rely on anymore at Marvel is Dan Slott, Mark Wade, Jason Aaron, Jerry Dugan, Cullen Bunn, and now you got Donnie. Still, you've burnt a lot of bridges. That's the problem. Like I was surprised by like Lemire coming back to write Sentry, and apparently he had like conditions. He said, "I'll only come back to write Sentry. I'll only come back to Marvel if I get to write Sentry." Apparently, that's what his conditions were. Doctor Strange should be written by Dan Abnett or Donny Cates. If they're doing it a proper Doctor Strange, probably Donny Cates. But I never enjoyed his legacy run. I didn't like it, and I think that's because it was continuing off the previous story. Dan Abnett on Doctor Strange. Oh, I don't know. Dan Abnett, I feel like, is more better to cosmic characters. Like, I mean, Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning pretty much kicked ass with like cosmic era Marvel, like around 2007. Check out my OPA by Image at Cyberpunk with the. Okay, I'll be sure to check that out. I'll see if I can find a copy. Yeah, have Abnett or Lansing help him out. Oh yeah, just have Abnett and Landing do. As much as people would like that, apparently there's a falling out between Abnett and Lanning, so that's why you don't see them working on stuff anymore. Since I don't know if it's true or not. I do hear it that Abnett and Lanning had a falling out. That's why they're not doing stuff anymore. Like if that's true and if they resolve their issues, put them on Guardians of the Galaxy. Make Guardians proper Guardians again. Back when they did their run, when they first did it. Yes, and have them retcon the Bender stuff because Abnett and Abnett and Lanning's Guardians of the Galaxy is great, and they were actual Guardians. That was the whole point of their team. They were brought together to guard the galaxy from cosmic threats after the events of Annihilation. And nowadays, because of the films, they're just a group of outlaws that just coincidentally save the universe. Here's a bullet. Bring back Brian Wood. The man did the art style for. I heard about that. Uh, what would you bring him back on? What would you? I'm not familiar with Brian Wood's work, so I wouldn't know what to put him on. But what would you, real Captain Marvel? What would you put Brian Wood on? That's the thing. Yeah, cosmic stuff. Pretty much, if essentially if we gave these ideas to Marvel, we wouldn't be, and if they actually took it into consideration, actually did it, and listened to the fans, the consumers, pretty much their main source of like essentially income. Uh, like we wouldn't be shitting on Marvel if they actually listened to us, to the fans that want them to be better. Read Northlanders by Brian Ward, then put him on Thor as artist. Okay, pretty much current Thor run. Get anyone else to do the art. I do not like the art. The artwork is it's weird. It's a weird artwork. I don't, it's not an appealing artwork for the current Thor. Yeah, would be great on street level heroes like Punisher or Daredevil. I'd say keep Charles Soule on Daredevil because Charles Soule has been doing such a great job with Daredevil. I'd say 100% just keep him on there. Probably you can give him the Punisher. I haven't been reading. I haven't read Rosenberg's War Machine Punisher run. Uh, it's mixed apparently. I know no Weaponized Nerd Rage likes it, but I never got around to. That's because the only thing from Rosenberg's that I've read was the Phoenix Resurrection storyline, and I've gone on record to say that I absolutely hated that. It was a waste of time and it was pointless. So I can't be bothered, you know. As soon as Charles Soule's astonishing X-Men run ended, I dropped that because I don't want to read Rosenberg's. Yeah, okay. Okay. Oh yeah, thanks for that, Smack. So, did a check on Abnett landing. It's bleeding cool. So yeah, grain of salt. DNA split around 2014, but Abnett wouldn't say why. Okay, so yeah, so they have split. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, if they manage to like resolve their issues, like get them back on Guardians of the Galaxy, or essentially any any cosmic hero like Guardians Nova, because they laid the groundwork for like the cosmic era of Marvel. The year the 21st century era for Marvel, the cosmic stuff. So I might actually wrap it up there. Thank you very much, everyone that was in the chat. I really appreciate it. I always wanted to do a lot more live streams. Sometime later on, sometime in the future, hopefully I'll get some guests. We'll talk about some more topics or whatever's going on. But I just wanted to use this first one to see how it goes and essentially just to double for a video I was going to do anyway. Like I said at the start, I was gonna do this as I wanted to do this whole Marvel Fresh Start and New Age of Heroes stuff as a video. Like the idea for it was great in my head, but realizing trying to actually plan it out and to how I was going to film it, it's just like I don't have the time and I don't have the resources. But at the same time, I just checked and I was able to do live streams. So I could do it for my first live stream and definitely, definitely loved it. Great. We'll try to, like I said, we'll try to do more live streams, get some more guests, talks about whatever's in the news, whatever we want to talk about. But I appreciate everyone that was on that appeared in the chat, interacting. You know, it's a bit hard when it's just it's just me. But like I said, I wanted to do it solo in the beginning to test out all the kinks, see how it works, make sure I got everything connected properly. Turns out it did. It worked. It worked perfectly. And I thank you all for that. You guys have been amazing as usual. And I have been Chris, your sarcastic man, your professional sarcastic man and seeker of attention. I just do comic reviews as usual, comic reviews, manga, several other stuff when I feel like it. Check out my channel. Most of you probably have already. But yes, do check them out. I do a review almost every day. Although I film everything in one day and then just schedule them to release uh day after day or take a break in between. Usually max like 4 or 5 videos a week. But that's just how I'd rather get. I have that one big day where I can do all my reviews in just one day without being interrupted. But it works well for me. So thank you very much, everyone that attended. I hope you have a great day or night, depending on where you are. And I will see you guys next time.